The Last of Us Part 3. Yeah, we still don't have an official confirmation or trailer or anything, but whenever it's coming or not. And if it is, then the big question is, what's the story going to be, and where does Naughty Dog take us next? So today, I'm diving into my expectations and a few theories about what could go down in The Last of Us Part 3. Let's not waste any more time and get into it. First of all, let's start with Ellie. After everything she went through in Part 2, the trauma, the revenge, the loss, what's left for her? In my opinion, Part 3 needs to be Ellie's redemption arc. I don't think she's done. She lost almost everything: Dina, her fingers, her purpose, and honestly, herself. So I expect Part 3 to show us a more broken, reflective Ellie. Maybe she's wandering, isolated, trying to find peace or purpose again. And maybe, just maybe, she hears about something. A group, a new cure attempt, or even someone who needs her help. Something that forces her to get back up and face the world again. So what if Ellie finds another immune person? Imagine that. She's no longer the only one. That could seriously shake things up. Maybe she becomes a protector, like Joel was to her. Full circle. Jackson is still standing, Tommy is still alive, and Dina might still be there with JJ. A part of me thinks Part 3 will have Ellie return home. Not to stay, but to confront her past. Maybe she tries to reconnect with Dina. Or maybe Dina doesn't forgive her, and that heartbreak fuels a whole new arc. Either way, Jackson still matters. Also, I really wish they give us some kind of DLC or flashback showing Joel and Tommy's journey from Texas to Boston. Tommy mentioned in Part 1 that he still has nightmares about those days, so you know something went down. I feel like there's a whole story there that we never got to see. We can't talk about Part 3 without mentioning the cure. It's the one thread that's been there from the beginning. If there's any chance to bring closure to this world, it has to go back to that choice Joel made. The one that started everything. Will Ellie finally decide to sacrifice herself? Will she have the option again? Or has the world already moved on from even trying? Personally, I think Ellie might finally choose what Joel once took from her. That'd be powerful storytelling. But if Naughty Dog wants to mess with us emotionally again, they'll probably twist it in a way we don't expect. And if Ellie really does end up being the cure, man, I'd love to see a proper epilogue. Like the infection's finally gone, and now the world's trying to rebuild. Maybe we see that from the eyes of an older JJ, or even Lev, just seeing what kind of world they grow up in after all that pain. If Part 3 is the final game, Ellie's death might be on the table. Not for shock value, but as a true full circle ending. She was saved by Joel. Now maybe she saves someone else and chooses peace at last. It'd be emotional, controversial, and totally in line with the series tone. I haven't forget about Abby, whether you liked her or not. Her story isn't over either. Last time we saw her, she was heading toward the Fireflies with Lev, trying to reconnect with whatever's left of that group. So, my expectation? We see what's left of the Fireflies. If they're rebuilding, they might be trying to restart the Cure project. Which brings us back to Ellie, the key to everything. Maybe Abby and Ellie cross paths again, not as enemies this time, but with a real reason to team up. That's kinda stupid. Yeah, imagine that. Ellie and Abby forced to work together, and if Abby found them, the Fireflies, Ellie probably will be tracked down again because she's still immune. A new Firefly leader doesn't care about consent, just results. And Abby wants to help. But Ellie isn't sure if she wants to live for others anymore. And here's something a lot of people forget. Ellie still doesn't know that Abby's dad was the surgeon Joel killed. I feel like they left that detail out on purpose. Like they're saving it for Part 3. Imagine how Ellie would react if she found that out. And by the way, Ellie in the TV series knew about that. Nora told her about Abby's dad and she doesn't care. And don't think she does care in the game as well. You know, The Last of Us is just as much about the world as it is about the characters. We've seen Boston, Salt Lake, Seattle, Jackson, Santa Barbara. So where to next? I think Part 3 will take us somewhere completely new. Maybe the East Coast again? Or even outside the US? That would be crazy. And with new locations come new factions, maybe even worse than the WLF or the Seraphites. A group with more advanced control, a brutal system, or even a cult that thinks the infection is a gift. There's a lot of potential to show how different people adapted or lost their minds over 20 plus years in this world. We've seen runners, clickers, bloaters, shamblers, and even rat kings. But imagine if the cordyceps evolved again. Maybe in a new climate, like a snowy environment or jungle setting, it adapts. New, terrifying infected types, maybe smarter, Maybe faster. Maybe they have more control of themselves. Part 2 surprised everyone by switching to Abby halfway through. Maybe Part 3 does it again, but this time with a brand new character that does not have any relation to the story we know. And it will take us to a new revenge journey that might cross path with even Ellie or Abby. So yeah, The Last of Us Part 3 could go in a million different directions. What do you think the story will be about? Drop your craziest theories down below. Do you want Ellie to have a peaceful ending? Or are you ready for more pain? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you next time with more Last of Us content. And stay safe out there!